Hi everyone! So, yeah, I didn't really feel like filming today, but I need to sit down and film. You know, I want to stick to my schedule. I was talking on my Instagram about how I was so excited for the new NATASHA denona eyeshadow palette, and I can't just let that excitement fizzle out. So, here I am. I'm going to film just one look with this palette today. I do want to make a 3 looks 1 palette, but to be honest, for me to make 3 looks 1 palette, I have to wash my face twice and do 3 looks. Basically, I filmed the 3 looks in one day, and then I have to edit it all together. So for somebody who only uploads once a week, it's such a massive time investment for me just for one video. And I really would like to start uploading twice a week, and to do that, I just haven't yet figured out a way to efficiently be able to do a 3 looks 1 palette without having to sink way too much time into making it. So we'll see. I'm still working on experimenting with things. I have only about maybe 759 other hobbies that I indulge in, which you can probably see if you follow my Instagram and my art Instagram, just how many things I like to do. So that makes it very difficult for me to invest more into my YouTube channel than I am currently right now. I'm first going to start with a primer. I've not really been into pore filling primers lately. My pores haven't really been troubling me, so I've mostly been focusing on primers that give my skin the kind of finish that I want. And obviously, because I'm not going anywhere, a long wear primer just is not necessary, so I just haven't been bothering. I recently picked this up during a Glossier sale. Glossier does not really ever have sales, so when the sale happened, I made sure to pick up a ton of things that I need backups for, and I also wanted to pick up some new stuff. It's not actually as glowy as I was expecting. I've been hearing a lot of people really rave about this product. I'm not really so sure how Glossier is trying to market it as. They kind of were like, oh, skincare, but also primer. It's okay. I'm glad I got it on sale. I'll definitely obviously have to fiddle with it more, like using it actually as my last step in my skincare routine before makeup and seeing how it works. Even underneath a separate primer, I'll definitely fiddle around with it. I just wanted to try it out today. I was kind of expecting it to be like the Laneige Glowy Makeup Serum, but it's not at all. And I guess I actually am happy about that since, you know, it's not kind of redundant for me to have both. But right now, I definitely would say if you're going to pick the Laneige one or the Glossier one, I'd say go with the Laneige one. My favorite combination recently has been to use an illuminating primer, kind of like this Glossier Futuredew, and then to use a semi-matte or matte or natural looking foundation on top. Right now it's so humid, my skin, all the dewier foundations I have, my nose, it just all breaks up on my nose pretty much instantly, so that's kind of been my favorite combination. So I'm going to be using this Luminous Silk foundation from Giorgio Armani. Definitely a classic product. I really like it too. It just looks absolutely beautiful. And I'm just going to be using the AOA $1.55 super soft paw paw sponge. I have the Beauty Blender as well, and I do think the Beauty Blender is just ever so slightly better. But this is really, really good for the price. There's really no reason to ever own a Beauty Blender unless you like all the pretty colors they come in, which I might be that person. So as you can see, I still have a very luminous glow to my skin. If it looks like I kind of use foundation that's too light for my face, it's because I like matching my neck. That's one of my kittens. Isn't he cute? Her name is Matcha, and her sister is Mochi, and her brother is Miso. And they're my fosters. I'm now going to go in with concealer. This is obviously, it should not come as a surprise to anybody. I love this concealer. I do have a fairly large collection of liquid concealers from before I tried a pot type concealer, and I really do wish I could. I am going to work with them more, learn how to use them. I do want to make them work for my skin, especially because, you know, I have them. But all along, a pot or a cream type concealer was really what did it for me, so as of right now, I just stick with that. And I just use my favorite Clinique concealer brush. You'll probably notice my lighting changed. Matcha knocked over the backlight, and now I don't have background lighting anymore. A lot of my lighting is done with light bulbs on tripods and things. It's pretty messy. Definitely really budget. It works, but I've come to realize in the long run, if I want to foster kittens and film, I'll have to start upgrading. While I was working on cleaning the glass, I also just went ahead and finished up this eye, and you can see the difference in the coverage and also how my under eye looks a little bit brighter. So I will work on the other eye now. So that is my eyes covered. And that is basically my base complete. I'm not really going to use powder right now. So that means that I am free to use some cream products later, which I do intend on doing. I'm going to be using this Urban Decay Brow Blade. It's a double-ended brow pencil. As you can see, my pen kind of bled a little bit and it deposited way too much pigment the first time around, so I'll just very quickly try and wipe it off. To dab at it a little bit and hopefully try and fix that. The pen side of the brow blade is a lot more pigmented than the brow flick. I'm now going to use my current favorite M Cosmetics brow gel, or brow cream as they call it. So you can see how my brows just look a lot fluffier now. I'm using this Peiliee base in Runour 1. The NATASHA Denona Glam palette. It looks like this. I'm gonna first take the shade called Crease. I don't really agree with the shade names. You know, I agree with a lot of other people in that I find them to be fairly exclusionary. Like the transition shade, I personally would never use as a transition shade, and I know a lot of other people can't use it either. So I would have rather a normal kind of traditional shade names. So as you can see, instead of putting it in a crease that I don't have, I'm just washing it all over my lid and then focusing on my outer half of my eye. It is a really pretty color though. So that's what it's looking like right now. It's kind of reminding me of the Romand quad I used in my last video. I am now going to take the shade Blend, and I'm going to use that to, well, blend, I guess. And it just kind of warms up the look a little bit. I'm now going to just slightly add a little bit of definition closer to my lash line. I think I'll take the shade Smoke, and I'll use that along my upper lash line. See how I just put it right there? Then I take whatever's left on my brush and run it through my triangle zone of my eye that I talked about in my last video. Just like that. I will then take the previous brush I used and blend what's on my upper lash line. So that's kind of the matte shadows done. I just wanted to do a simple little look like that. I'm now going to take the shade, the top left shade. It's kind of a pinky shimmer. It's called Center Eyelid, and I'll be using that as kind of the point color of the look. I used a brush, so now I'm going to use my finger to really kind of intensify it where I want it. See how that makes a huge difference? I kind of think I'll leave out an inner corner highlight today. I'll just leave it like this. So that's just a simple eye look, more or less complete with the eyeshadow. I'm really trying to see if the lighting can show what it looks like. Hopefully here you can kind of see the colors are a little bit more accurate. It's really pretty in real life, that's for sure. I'm gonna apply some mascara and then we'll just finish off the eyes and move on to the rest of the face. I'm gonna be using the SHISEIDO eyelash curler as usual. And now I'm going to use a mascara. Don't really feel like using false lashes today. I'm not going anywhere and it's the evening, so I'm just going to use a mascara with a finish that I like so that I can get the look that I want. I do have the Pat McGrath Fetish Eyes mascara ordered, but because Pat McGrath's website currently takes so long to fulfill orders, I don't know when it's going to come in. I got it during the 25% off sale. I thought that would be a great time to get it, and because I did get a lash lift, I just really want to kind of indulge and enjoy my lashes for a little while. I've heard it's really similar to Better Than Sex in that it's super volumizing, which is what I love, but it doesn't actually flake, it actually stays in place. I almost always end up getting mascara all over my face whenever I put it on, especially with a wand this big, but whatever. I'm gonna add a second coat to my upper lashes. I just have lashes now, it's great. So that's my lashes done. If you want to see the expectations versus reality of filming, it looks like this. But in reality, I have mascara smudges all over my eyelid. But because this is all you see from the camera, it's kind of hard to see. I know, sneaky. So now the eyes are done, I'm not going to use any eyeliner. Just appreciating the eyeshadow. We're going to zoom out and work on the face. So now that we're zoomed out and we're going to see the rest of my face, I know this look was featuring the Glam palette, but I just had this really cool blush idea that I really wanted to try, so the blush honestly is kind of going to be the real star of today's look. I have these two blushes here, the 3CE liquid blush and the M Cosmetics blush, and I kind of want to do a gradient look with these both. The 3CE blush is much more matte. It kind of has a velvet matte finish once you use it, but then the M Cosmetics one obviously is much more like a serum and much more hydrating. So I was thinking I'll use this one first as kind of a base, especially since it's a much more neutral color, and then I'll use the M Cosmetics one as kind of the point. That being said, this is more pigmented than the M Cosmetics one, which I've noticed sometimes can kind of blend out to nothing, so we'll see what happens. It's very buildable, so. So I applied it widely as if wrapping around my face. As you can see, it has a very matte finish, a much more subdued finish. It's not overly aggressively dewy. It is a fairly unique liquid blush in that regard. It doesn't really seem to be lifting off the blush I put down earlier either, so that's a good sign. So as you can see, I have a lot of blush on now, but I like it. There's no such thing as too much blush under this roof. But you can kind of still see, I kind of was able to achieve the gradient. I put on a little bit too much of that M Cosmetics blush, but you can kind of see the gradient. And it definitely is a very cooler tone blush look, so it goes well with the rest of my face. So I'm now going to finally set my face with powder. I haven't used this powder in a while. I think a loose powder would be good for setting my face, considering that I do have some cream products on my face. A loose powder will be able to set that pretty well. So the nice thing about this powder, from SHISEIDO is that it does still leave behind the glow. It doesn't take away from all of it completely, but it will greatly minimize transfer, and when applying more of it, like what I did to my nose, it can definitely mattify and set my nose. Probably the only downside to that powder is that the packaging is a mess. Like every time I open and close it, it's just like poof, a cloud of powder. This is the Romand Zero Velvet Matte Lip. I talked about getting a bunch of Romand products in my last video, which was more or less just kind of a full-ish face of Romand, and I hadn't used that product. I used a different one, so I thought I'll use this product in this video. But before we do that, before I forget, we need to use a lip liner. I'm going to use this BUXOH lip liner. I got these half off at the 21 Days of Beauty like a year or two ago. I really like them. I definitely think they were worth the money. So because I have such a long chin, I balance it out by overlining my lower lip, which I know nobody really ever does, but I do it, and I think it really helps balance out and shorten the distance from my lower lip to the bottom of my chin. It's something that, you know, lip filler could fix, but I can't really do that right now. Raise your hand though if you've ever wanted to get surgery done for something on your face. I know I have. So the nice thing about this applicator is that once you've used almost all the product on it, you can use it to blend and create a really nice gradation on your lips. Because see how see the shape of it from the side? It can hug your lip, but then it's so pointy at the tip. I don't do this often because honestly I forget I have them, but I'm going to go ahead and use a finishing or setting spray just to kind of finish off this look. This dewy setting spray from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Couldn't tell you if it makes makeup last longer because obviously right now there's just no need for me to find that out, but I definitely do really like the finish it gives me. I do have the Patrick Ta fan. I don't regret it, and you cannot make me feel embarrassed for buying it. So I'll say that this is kind of the finished look. Wonder if it'd look better with like a fringe or something. Definitely tempted to get like real bangs again, but this fringe works out pretty well, honestly. So now you can't see my terrible eyebrows. And there we go. It was just kind of another simple look. I do really want to do a 3 looks 1 palette with this palette. I want to do 3 looks 1 palette with like every single eyeshadow palette I own. It's just a matter of figuring out my workflow. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's not really my best video, I don't think, but I just wanted to sit down and play with makeup a little bit before before it's tomorrow. Just wanted to do something fun with you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.